Well, and just like that, it's The Good, the Bad, and the Rugby, episode 7. And we are here at this most prestigious. It's establishment of quality. It's establishment of history. I know you boys are all laughing at boys. Joining me today, we got Schalk Brits, my co-host, and next to him is the legend. But Scala, how's things going for you?
I am absolutely fantastic, Bobs. It is. I wondered why we would stop here at Rondebosch, but yeah, well, you're an old boy. You've had great memories, yeah?
Brilliant memories, especially against your guys' school. But on the far end, I'm going to start to the far end. The most senior person in this couch, Corné, my captain, Corné Krige, captain of Springboks 18 times, played 39 times, born in the same hospital as the one and only Georgie Gregan. Corné, I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you doing, pal?
Fantastic, Bobs. Lovely to be here.
Oh, look at his shape.
I know,
he is amazing.
He's
to
always
play.
been the most competitive person I've ever met. I mean, we'll talk about that English game later on. And next to me, I mean, this man, if you're asking for go-forward ball, if you're asking for explosive power, got it in spades. Recovering from his shoulder.
Yeah, not so much now. Still recovering.
Roos is with us, the current Stormers player. How's things going? And yeah, I know this feels like a Stormers couch.
Yeah, it's not
Are
a
you
bad
comfortable
couch.
in Rondebosch?
Yeah, we did a good number on them back in my day. So
It's never going to
it's very-
stop.
yes, I feel very good, yeah. But no, it's doing good. I'm actually very chilled now. I'm just doing rehab every day. So it's chilling.
Yeah, if you go back into the archives, the last time I think these things sort of happened is when I was still around here. So it's a long time ago.
Bobs, it's not a full Stormers couch, this. You've played for almost every province. So, I mean, you can actually represent any team.
And you, Scholar.
Betty, you talk like that, but you followed me around, right? You followed me around and look at you playing for Saracens, the Lions and everything. I know you always to be like me, and that's why you even played at the centres and actually disguised himself as a hooker.
I mean, I like running with the ball. That's the... I think, well, bar Corné, we liked running with the ball. He wanted to hurt people, so that made it a lot easier.
Gents, let's just talk about it, what we're going to chat about today. We're looking through to see if we can reflect on what has happened in the TRC, the Rugby Championship, and then we're going to look at the 2 last rounds, playing away against Argentina and at home, and then it is the imminent conclusion of the Currie Cup and the start of the URC. Talking about the start of the URC, what did you get up to, Schalk?
Myself and my big dog, yeah, we went to the opening of the Stormers, or launch of their new shirt for the season. There was a lot of thought that went into this. It is extremely well done. They've put every player that's ever played for the Stormers on the shirt.
Can you see? Can
I
you
think they
use your eyes?
lost. I
Your
think
eyes
they
still
lost my
fine?
number.
They lost your number.
I wasn't invited to the launch.
I see Brayton Pulse is right up on the chest. I mean, for you current players, everyone, you see that kind of jersey. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to carry those names?
Yeah, it's funny.
I guess that's a pressure, carry those names.
Yeah, it's funny because you're in the same, I want to say, WhatsApp group as a bunch of legends. And yeah, I chatted to someone last night as well, and it just kind of shows you, like, you know, the jersey's not yours. You just get to wear it for a while and then pass it on to the next. And but yeah, it's just an absolute
Some
honor.
big guns there.
Yeah, absolute honor to be in the same shirt as some legends that's on this shirt, like Corné, and I see Marius Hubert, Dion Free still kicking it at, I want to say 40, but it's 38, I think. Volkulo's there.
Jacques Foury's up
Jacques
there.
Foury, John de Villiers, I saw.
Hendrik
Schalk's name
Gerber's
there.
there.
Brayton Paul, so
2 Centurions, Eben Itzebete and Percy Montgomery.
What does it mean for you as the middle generation of the Stormers player?
Funny enough, if you look back at the career itself, and you don't, to be fair, I don't remember much of the games. What I do remember is the mates I've made, the memories I've had, the silly things we did when we were young. You traveled the world, not married, and see different places and enjoyed life. Like, that was and you think, like, at that age, you are giving responsibility of the shirt, but you're still a kid.
Yeah.
And you're still learning about life. And so that was quite great forming years with great mates, great memories. Some of them wasn't always great with how you structure, and then you go play against the New Zealand sides, get smashed, and then how you turn around. 5 weeks away from home was tough. But now I think the shirt is in a better place than it was in 2004, 5, 6, and I'm happy where they're going with it. And I think if you say it brings back the old alumni back to the team, right? I think myself and Corné felt very strongly about the Stormers. I was a bit upset of where they're going with it. Now things has changed around, and they want to bring the old boys back. They want to bring the old supporters back. They want to make it everyone one, because it's our team.
It is a heritage. We are
Great
the
supported
custodians
team,
in a
yeah.
way, trying to keep this up. Talking about a jersey that is in good space at the moment. The Springboks, yes, the Springboks. The Springboks are up against Argentina, and the only two sides that can win this TRC this year. Springboks still unbeaten, James. Can they do it?
I have no
Corné?
doubt they can. Argentina at the moment are just up and down. So they'll play really well in the one game, and beat Australia by 60, and the next time they lose. So they really are. They're too up and down in my mind, but it's going to be tough over there.
You played against Rassie, and not just played against, and competed mostly against him, especially for that number 6 jersey and in the loose forwards. To have seen him sort of evolve now and to this team, I haven't heard much of your comments on the Springboks. What have you seen? What is it that you see with what Rassie has brought into this sort of environment?
What I like about Rassie is that he's setting the trends worldwide. So people are following him, where we were always following New Zealand mostly, because they were the trendsetters. They were the guys looking at the game in a different way. Now, they're looking at us. They're looking at Rassie going, geez, what is he going to do next? And I think it really messes with their minds properly. He does funny things like jump twice in the line-out, throw at the back and jump in the front and throw it back to the guy in the front. He thinks about the game differently, which is great for us. But he hasn't forgotten about the fact that we are very physical and we've got a great backer forwards. And now he's building around that with Tony Brown, which makes me very excited.
What's been your take? And the way that the four games, 2 games against Australia, and then and looking those 2 games against the All Blacks, which was phenomenal. Those 2 tests, just something special.
Amazing. I think when we were there, beginning of the season, Coach Roos and the coaching staff wanted to establish, we want consistency between World Cups as well. We want to be up and down, have not a great, a 60 or 55% win ratio. We want to have a consistent win and trying to chase a streak, because that builds up consistency to the next World Cup. So I'm dead sure we will be able to win these 2 games. We know how to win in Argentina. We did that last year. So, and then the home game in Nelspruit is going to be epic as well. People love their rugby there. So I'm dead sure, even with the end of year tour, it's also 3 games. If we can have a 100% win ratio to the end of the year, I think it will be a very good year, especially post-World Cup, because you should get that World Cup hangover where the team that won the previous year kind of go on a downward spiral. So, Coach Roos and Tony and Jerry and the whole coaching staff have been absolutely amazing.
But what I do like is the way he's approaching it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, yes, the one thing that you can look at this team is there's no lack of physicality and work ethic. So they're doing that right. He brought in Tony Brown to evolve our attacking style. But one thing he does better than any other coach that I feel is creating depth in our squad. He's rotating, where you take Ireland when they're at the 17-win streak. Yes, they won.
Held them together.
Yeah. But the thing is, we need to get great depth. And the one thing that with changing with personnel, you will have up and downs, you will have more mistakes, but it's a longer view. And the thing is, for any team, if they've got physicality and they've got a work ethic and they've got a great strategy going into a game, yes, you'll maybe struggle 1 or 2 games, but over the long run, I'm quite looking forward to seeing what they're going to be come 3-4 years time.
Just looking at the stats, fellas, South Africa has had the worst discipline. We've given away 6 yellow cards. New Zealand 4, actually Australia 3, and funny enough, the most disciplined side is Argentina.
Guys are trying to get themselves into battles. I think guys are trying to get into every opportunity to get stuck in and make a difference in the game. And sometimes the more battles and more opportunities you get into, you are a bit on the line in terms of discipline.
The one thing we have to understand, as we all know, the rugby colloquial, we can talk that language. Battles, what does that mean to you as a player? When you start saying, okay, you're getting into battles, what does that mean to you? How do you interpret it to give yourself that opportunity to get into those battles?
It's literally just trying to get your influence in the game. It can be a tackle, it can be a missed tackle, it can be a carry, a clean, more scrum line out. So more involvement you get in the game. This is a mathematical algorithm they use or equation to work it out like per minute. The more you get into it, the more chances you're going to have a more positive outcome in the game. As said, more times you try and get it, sometimes you're going to fall on the wrong side of the ref. And I think that's where that comes from.
Do you think that kind of sort of mindset sort of frees you up because you're not scared of making mistakes?
Yeah, no doubt.
You would have suited your game.
No, I wouldn't have played a lot. I've been off quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I watched the clip 2002 and I was thinking to myself, the whole of you needed to be taken to jail for assault because there was abuse of that.
It was bad. But the thing is, those days, the cameras weren't that great and they weren't focusing. There was no third match official actually looking at incidents. So if you didn't cite somebody within 24 or 48 hours,
yeah,
you could get away. So I got away properly.
Although, just in general, the game has moved quite a far way. So you can't, on today's terms, compare to those days. I mean, the rules are not the rules are different, but the way
to what the rules are.
Yeah,
the way
100%.
everything is
I mean,
seen and
my nose was straight way back then. Now it's not, and that just it wasn't because of my own doing.
well, I won't lie. It doesn't really. It's not a mistake. It's not too bad. You're carrying it well. That's what I'm trying to get to. Corné, let's talk about discipline. I mean, as a captain, you look at that and you understand that the players are being given not free rein, but a chance to influence the game. When does it come an issue?
What I don't like about the new rules is that there are rugby collisions. And clearly if you deliberate in trying to take somebody out, it should be a card. But if you're genuinely trying to tackle somebody and your heads clash and it was not your intention at all, it's an incidental head crash, you're off, yellow card. It doesn't make sense to me. So I don't like that. Some of those 6 cards, there would be a couple of those.
I mean, I can pick up one in my head where Billy Leroux went for the intercept, which I thought he had realistic chance of getting it, and it's a yellow card.
And he hit it up because he nearly caught it again. So those are the things. You know, some of the rules I don't like, but I understand why they're there, and it's to make the game safer, which is great for everybody. So I think some of those, but I can't remember any yellow card that was malicious. Yes, it's discipline thing, we got the most yellow cards. But despite that, I mean, the guys that stayed on the field got the job done, which is fantastic.
Scala, South Africa has the lowest scrumming success rate in the TRC, which is the Rugby Championship. I mean, if I look up at my stats, 82%, they're the lowest one. 96%, that comes with New Zealand. Then you got Australia at 93%, Argentina 85%, South Africa 82%. What's your take on that?
On that particular stat, I was wondering is how do they define that stat? Is the ball getting in and out? Because the one thing that they don't calculate is the amount of times we go for a penalty. So yes, maybe we won't have the best in and out play, but a lot of teams that can't dominate from a scrum perspective, they just want the ball in and out. Yeah. And the one other thing that you can't put in the equation is what kind of lactic acid when you are in that scrum for ages. That effect that it has is hard. If anyone wants to know how to do it, go, you know those sled pushes and you put 200 kilograms and you try to walk with that and then try to run after that. That's the thing. What happens is if you look, yes, maybe we didn't have the best scrumming outcome or percentage, but I would love to know what kind of penalties we had, how many penalties we had. But from that perspective going is what influence did it have over time compounded, and at the end, if you look at, maybe you refer to the bomb squad as we've had the most impact from a bomb squad. And maybe you don't see in the first 60 minutes, you see that in the last 20. In the last 20, we've outperformed all the teams on the scoreboard.
And most of the time, I'm just from watching, you sort of find that when the ball is at the back of the scrum, maybe we want to go deep a bit, and there's always that call to use it. How frustrating is that? Because, I mean, the ref doesn't know the intention of the 8.
Yeah, it's The thing is, we've been instructed to try to keep the ball between the locks. But as an 8th man, I think Corné would also know, it's tough because it's feet and it's the ball's there and
Bobbling around.
Yeah, and you try and talk to the rep before
I'm
the game.
very comfortable. I play flank all my life. I just moved to centre.
It's you try and chat to the ref beforehand and say,
Yeah.
listen, we want scrum dominance, we want to get the penalty. But yeah, sometimes there's a notion in rugby and world rugby, especially with the Boks,
Get it on.
some don't want to deep power, something we're good at. I mean, after a free kick, you can't, or penalty, I think if it's right, you can't go for a scrum again. And so yeah, that's because usually that's those double penalties where we go for the second scrum. That's where usually Barry Oaks, and they kind of took that away. So we got to find ways to work around it. But yeah, as I said and Schalk said, especially that New Zealand test at Cape Town, first 2-3 scrums, Boks were absolutely over them. They just got a quick channel one ball and played it, and then the ref can't give the penalty because ball's out.
Yeah.
So teams are also getting smarter.
What I like is even if we're not dominating the scrums, in the past we would lose those games. Now we're winning. Because despite the fact that we're not dominant in the scrums, sometimes not even dominant in lineouts, we're losing some of our set plays. Despite that, we're still winning, which is great.
Not just the scrums, but then even bringing in more players onto the field. What has been your take when it comes to the attack sort of intuition that we've gone to? Everyone calls it the Tony Brown ball. I mean, Tony just been around the corner, and now all of a sudden it's a Tony ball. It's a Tony ball. What do you take on that, on the Tony ball?
Where do we evolve from 2019 to 2023, and then where do we evolve from here onwards? I like from a defensive perspective, not that you asked, but I like we are more decisive on, do we rush or do we shift? Are we numbers up or numbers down? So there's better decision making from a defensive perspective. On the one side, I think we've got the talent, we've got the skill set. Look, Australia was way ahead with structure play, and New Zealanders were way ahead with technical offloads and all those things. Yes, on general, I thought they were more skilled. Now we've got the players to play different styles of rugby. Yes, we can play the tight game. Tony's, not just Tony, but the players we have, and with the structure, we can play a different style of rugby now. We've got exciting players, but you need a coach to coach that as well. And you need players to have the freedom to play those things. Although I think we had the least amount of offloads, but we had different ways of breaking down defense. And from my perspective, that is beautiful to see we're evolving to the next phase of our game. We've got A plan, a B plan, and a C plan. And we can break down teams in different ways.
Going back to the Springbok camp, I mean, at the beginning of this campaign, before you went to go clean up your shoulder, right? They are very rude. Actually, how's your shoulder? How's everything going? How's the op been?
No, the Doc Roos was amazing. Yeah, such a good op. I was out of the sling in 2 days. I'm curling, 8 kilogram now on the one arm, so that's massive. No, I'm joking.
Which one? I'm trying to see.
Exactly, you can't even see. No, I'm joking. But the rehab's going very well, and I must say the mental break from it as well.
Yeah.
It's been a long 3 years, and the rugby calendar, as we spoke about before the show, it's non-stop, where it was 13 games Super Rugby, and now it's 25 games, normal season with then playoffs, then it's Test Rugby if you're involved with the Boks, and then after end of year two, it's URC and Investec Champions Cup. So it never stops.
Yeah.
So I think the bodies are taking shots.
Yeah.
And I mean, I chatted to Marcel Tennyson yesterday, and he's 25, I'm 24. And we both got almost 60 caps for the Stormers, and it's usually that doesn't happen.
And what doesn't normally happen is always have injuries in December holidays. So can you maybe talk me through that?
My team hates me for that because I broke my rib 2022, December, end of year tour. Then last year against La Rochelle, I broke my jaw. So that was also a month, just over December. And now this year, we got the op now, and it's going all the way to Feb.
So this is a timing thing.
Break your jaw, you can't eat, but you can drink.
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to this year. What did you see? How exciting was it to actually sort of get into this new cycle? It is a new cycle of the next 4 years, and knowing that you one of the players who's been given opportunity to showcase what you can do.
Yeah. The 2 opportunities I got before my op was amazing. It's always Schalk and Corné, and it's always a pleasure and an honour. And it's exciting, like obviously, because having worked with Coach Jock and Felix last year, now with Jerry and Tony, they bring a whole new way of doing things. And and I think it's good to get different and fresh minds in. I think if we could keep on sticking with the same people, then you lose sight and track of what's new and new ideas. And but yeah, just as I love attacking and running rugby, and that's what Tony's bringing, and I enjoy it. We do it a lot to Stormers as well, so that for me was awesome. And Jerry is just so passionate about his defence and absolutely, what does he say, melting guys. He loves it, and the Irish are very passionate as well.
Yeah.
So see that passion and everything. It's awesome to work. Hopefully, I can work with them next year again. I just got to fix up, and then next year URC try and do my thing again, and hopefully get back into the mix.
On D, what did Jerry bring in differently?
I don't want to say it's like the system-wise. It's very the same.
Yeah.
A few technical things, because obviously, as you know, we would used to, if we have a full line and up and in.
Yeah.
But he's coaching in different scenarios. So if you're one or two less down, what do we do? How do you kind of, as you said, shift, help the guy inside of you, take that guy's decision away to make the pass or tackle? So a lot of technical things in the tackle. Where to put your head, your shoulder. It's those small technical things that in the game obviously help, and it's a bigger effect on the game.
So because if you take the first test against the All Blacks, for example, we shot in a couple of times. And the second test match, I know it's a different test match and it's in Cape Town, but we weren't
we didn't
exposed.
get caught.
We didn't get caught
badly.
as much as the one in Ellis Park. So for me, it's quite interesting seeing how we move across the pitch, where it wasn't all hard the whole time.
You had Wayne Smith at Northampton, different sort of mindset, solving the same old problems you knew about when it comes to attack. What did you learn in that mindset of a New Zealand coach trying to sort of influence an environment?
Mostly attitude. You know, it's if you have the right attitude on defence, that's 90% of the game won. If you're prepared to put your body on the line and you're prepared to get up 100 times and make the tackle, then that's you 90% of the way there.
Yeah.
So once that's settled, you know, it's around structure then. So in our days it was shifted, you know, shift them out towards, you use the touchline to get them out. Now, I think I would have enjoyed this sort of defence where you just come inside and go.
Ball being the threat, and you just shutting down the
shut
threat.
it down, yeah.
And then when it came to the attack, the way that you guys approached it with Wayne Smith, his mindset towards it.
They were miles ahead of us. They had that little system where you carry something in your jersey. They had the cameras around the stadium, so you were never off camera. So the television camera would be on you, and it'll go with the ball. But you're never off camera because of I can't remember the system that they had. It was a very unique system at the time. So if the coach stopped the video and he said, "Corné, where were you?" You'd always say, "No, I'm just out of screen," because you needed to be here, and I'm on my way. And then you can go onto a different screen which shows like a little pool ball with a number on. It says, "No, you were right on the touchline. You weren't on your way. You're talking rubbish." That system was really good, and what it did was they started playing the big five between the two 10-metre lines, the hookers and the flankers out on the edges between the two to 15. So I got a lot of criticism in the beginning because I was patrolling all over the place, whereas they're saying you're wasting your energy. You know, once it comes this way and it's in the middle, the tight five will be there. You don't have to clean your weight on the side. So they were miles ahead of us in terms of technology.
Did you feel like you were learning a bit
more for sure
at your older age and learning more about how to do things?
And learning how to play when you're frozen.
It's never easy.
Terrible.
It's never easy. We talk about these two teams that are coming up, Scala, Argentina and South Africa, and we are playing away. But when you look at their attack, we are similar in the way that they go about it. I mean, yes, they lost the first test against Australia by just a point, but then they come back. That response, what does that response do to an Argentinian team at home and seeing the so-called favourable Springboks coming into their house?
I think they are licking their lips.
Yeah.
That is what they are.
They'll be crying. They'll be crying with the anthem.
But then just playing those test matches against Argentina, it's never easy. I mean, I remember Bob used to say the argy-bargies, and they really do come at you.
No, they do come at you. And that's the one thing you know when you play against Argentina. It's going to be very physical. But if you continue to be physical throughout the game, they do go away at some point. And that's what's nice with Rassie now, with the bomb squad. Everybody's physical. But the guys that we bring on are sometimes even more physical, whereas the opposition aren't that physical. And that's in that last 20 where we can make a difference.
Your take, Schala?
No, for me, is the Argentinians, if they get their nose in front, it's a hard day. The emotional, like Corné said, so it's having a great start.
Yeah, quieting the crowd.
Yeah.
Get the crowd out of the game.
The crowd starts going. And I can remember, what was it, 2014, 2015. Heineke was coach. We played at Salta and we lost the game and they were just getting momentum. And the thing is, if they're in touching range, they've got hope. You have to give them a proper hiding from the word
Put them
go.
away.
Match them, or even,
Dominate.
they need to match us. From a physical perspective, put numbers on get the scoreboard going, scoreboard pressure, and then you can have the Malbecs and you can have your meat afterwards as much as you like. And the weirdest thing is, I can remember, this is now a story, Buenos Aires story.
I see it.
So I'm the old man in the group, and they say, okay, we're playing there, we're going to go out afterwards. Can you organize? And I know I played with a couple of Juan and played at Saracens with us.
Yeah.
And so I said, where should we go? And they gave us the spots, and we went out, and it was 11 o'clock. We were there fully kits, ready to go. The single boys were, but there was no one. And I got so much abuse from the guys. At 2 o'clock in the morning.
You didn't know that it starts then?
No, 2 o'clock in the morning, the place was packed. And eventually we had to jump on the bus or get a taxi, make the flights and fly all the way back. It was a nightmare, but I didn't know that they only start. Marcelo did warn me, but I didn't think they only really started at 2 o'clock. They eat late, they party late.
You remember Christian Stewart, right? We went on a Western Province tour to Argentina. Well, I think it was also with Harry. And the Cape Times asked him to write like a little blog or like a little
piece.
And he wrote, we're in the land of steak and women. Just a pity we can't eat steak.
Wow, that is a man with many talents. He's one of those people that you want to invite him for a braai and have a chat with. For all the players now, the approach of going to Argentina, the one thing that we've heard and that's been coming out of the squad is that you deserve your chance. No one is given a chance. You deserve your chance. So meaning those players, there were some who were arrested. There's players now who have the opportunity against Argentina. What kind of mindset that goes through the players themselves when they go to this kind of tour?
It's tough. We went through something similar last year. It was the final game before the World Cup squad announcement. So Coach Roos says, you guys have the inside lane now. Like, you guys kind of can get a last jab in before. Every time you get an opportunity, especially if there's not too much of some big guys arrested, like now it's your time and chance to show, listen, I cannot not do the same job as a Peter Steff or someone like that, but I can bring my part and bring my unique way of doing things. So, and yeah, as you said, it's deserved. It's not owed or whatever. Those guys who are there deserve to play, and I think they're going to do an amazing job. Usually, like us as well last year, we had not this B team tag, but we didn't have all the big names there. And it was Augustine Creevy's 100th game, very emotional. Those cages, people banging against the cages.
No, they go mad.
I was warming up behind we were so late because we had police escorts, but it was such a hassle to get to the thing. I finished strapping my knee, and then when I jogged out, we were already halfway through the warm-up. It was like one of those games. When I was warming up behind the poles, like, I think an 8-year-old boy, younger than my brother, said, number 20, and I turned around and he just zapped me. Like, they are very, very, very hostile.
So they were welcoming.
Yeah, and I think if the guys want to win this weekend, like we did last year, like shock them from the first minute. Like, not give them any chance, because they're going to come out crying, and that emotional thing that change room energy is going to keep them for 20 minutes. But if you stick to what we know and being physical and knowing our job and executing it well, after those first 20 minutes, then yeah, we can definitely have them.
Just a question on mentality with rotation. So Australia first test, you play a certain squad. Then the second test in Perth, you play second squad. Now they've made another rotation going to this. Did all the players know that the rotation is coming, or is it communicated through the tournament? How does Rassie tell the players you're getting rested or you're going to have opportunity? Is that in advance, or?
I think the last year we had this more because of logistics wise. This team is playing here, this team is playing there. Sometimes what he does is he puts the the team up for, say now, the island test we had now, the second island test in Durban. This team is playing, and then next to it will be like an Excel sheet. This is a team playing against Portugal.
Yeah.
So then you can kind of wrap your mind around things. Okay, cool, I'm not in the mix this week, but I know I'm there next week. So that group can start training together and working on their things. I don't know how it is now. Obviously, I wasn't with them in Australia and with these 2 New Zealand tests. But yeah, I imagine, or it's like, the Monday you find out this is who's playing, or it's like a 2-week plan. And then, but if it's not the 2-week plan, you wait until here on the Monday.
I was interested in 2019. It was doing exactly the same, because as a player, I think what is great is, yes, you are disappointed that you're not playing this weekend, but you've got something to look forward to. So it gives you sort of a push. You gutted that you're not playing, but you're getting opportunity to show your worth in a couple of weeks.
How was your attitude in terms of prepping the team that was playing? Like, how is that buy-in?
No, actually amazing. Well, you can go, because I don't know if it's changed, but my viewpoint was, if the team is successful, I'm successful.
It was very different in our time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Rassie's done. Because there's consistency at the top, he's also brought in a whole lot of a new generation of players. He's already identified the layer below, which is amazing. There was no consistency. I mean, I think we had 3 Springbok coaches in 5 years. Now there's a lot of forward planning, understanding what it needs to. The unions know where they fit in. Everything's organised now, where in the past it was ad hoc. We'd shoot ourselves in the foot before big test matches. We'd make funny moves, so...
And we're not going to kick.
Yeah, we're not going to kick. We won that game, though, 4 points.
Now, the funniest bits for me was the chicken and egg. And it's not like a saying, but it's actually literally a chicken and an egg before the test.
I think what I did 2 years ago, we had the 2 tests against New Zealand in Bella, Nelspruit, and then Joburg. And then Schalk said, listen, you're going to be Audi for 2 weeks now. So you play like Audi, do what Audi does, because he's very unconventional, orthodox. He picks up, picks up. Then I love personally playing like that. So it's very comfortable for me. And I remember the one training field in Nelspruit, Schalk comes to me and said, listen, when you get tackled, do the reboot where you release the ball, pick it up and run again. Yeah. And I'm like, are you sure? And he says, yes. And I'm like, did you tell them? And he's like, no, not good. They need to wake up. They need to be awake for these things. And I said, okay. And I catch the ball, run, and it's France and Eben, shoulder checks, tackles me, fall, reboot, and I start running. And I just hear someone screaming behind me, and it's Eben. I'm like, and his eyes. And
his eyes.
And I run. And he's quite fast. Long stride. I back myself, I'm quick, but he's getting, and I see Herschel next to me. I'm like, listen, it's your turn. I pass him and I run that way. And he just absolutely flattens Herschel from behind, and then it's full on contact. So getting to that, I think what's smart is, and I think some guy in New Zealand rugby show said, a lot of teams, they focus on the 15 that starts. And what Coach Rassie does is put emphasis, and he gives the 8 on the bench purpose. And I think that's the whole mindset change that makes us, the Springboks, work. Being number 19 or 20 is not a disappointment. Yeah. It's as Erke says, shame you're not in the bomb squad this weekend. And I think that way, and getting those guys in that mindset is, I think, where there's a point of difference of the Springboks in comparison to the rest of world rugby.
For sure. Who'll have thought someone will make a bench so cool? It is a real thing, because I remember I've sat on tests where we're getting 50 points and the coach doesn't even yank your number up, and you're just sitting here going to yourself geez, what am I doing? And I could have set this and watched it at home, But nowadays, it's an important role that you play. I guess you take that responsibility and being accountable to say, you know what, I can make a difference in this game. And
you finish the game. I mean, I think it's a big responsibility in itself. You have to finish the game. Those guys lay the foundation, and especially if it's a tight game, then the coach trusts you to finish this game out. And but as I said, putting emphasis and importance to the bomb squad. Gives guys that sense of pride and responsibility.
It shows you, though, what Razor did in the second test match with New Zealand. He put Bowden Barrett and the experienced players, Penonara, he put them on the bench. Because he said he didn't win the test match in the first 20. He lost it in the last 20, you know. So he realised he needs to be able to bring on strong, experienced players who can finish the game.
Let's talk about something alarming.
Well, just what is alarming is you can't be an arsehole in this squad. That is the thing. If it's about, if it's a Scala show or a Bob show, then you fuck off. You're out of here. And that's, firstly, I know everybody wants to wear that shirt, but if it's all about you, there's no place for you in that squad.
Why does South Africa actually have the lowest tackle success rate? Is that something that should be, I guess, a cause of panic? Or if not a cause of panic, does it really matter to us because of the way that we defend?
I think it would upset Rassie because he wants to be the best in everything. But if you look at our defensive line and the way we break the line to come in and make tackles, there are opportunities to miss tackles, you know. So
alternative, make beautiful tackles, give yards. No, he wants.
And also, but we've got the least tries.
And at least tries. That's all. That to me talks volumes. I mean,
The thing is, like, I can go and tackle, I miss, Schalk's on him immediately. I think it's a stat, but stat can be viewed from so much different angles.
it's how the dress looks.
Yeah, so as Schalk said, you can look pretty and you can make 100% tackle rate, but it's all negative tackles. Where if you make an 80 or 85% tackle rate, but you get catching oaks behind the advantage line, that's more important.
Risk and reward, is it?
For sure.
So the stats won't really matter as long as that after you nil the All Blacks in a test match, which hasn't been done for a long time.
4 times in a row.
Boom.
Just no
Take
tries
that.
against the Springboks in Cape Town against the All Blacks. In 80 minutes, All Blacks not scoring a try. I mean, that has never been heard of.
That is beautiful.
With the low,
a beautiful thing.
with this low tackle success rate.
Well, the question is, you flip it around, is what does Razor think? When last didn't they go score in any test match? And that was against Ireland a couple of years ago, right? Yeah. But they didn't score. And the question is, they are supposed to be the best attacking side, but they're not scoring tries.
Okay, gents, let's get into the real meat of it. This weekend, your thoughts? Who's going to do it and why? Argentina, South Africa.
Boom.
Boks.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's going to be a tough start.
For sure.
I think it's going to be very emotional. From my perspective, is once again, hopefully the players are getting opportunity this weekend. They do perform. They don't have to prove anything. Just they're talented athletes. Just play like you normally play for your club, and things will get together. I think in the beginning it will be, and that's the only thing that I've got a bit of fear in, is new combinations. But they had a couple of days together to grind stuff out. It's going to be, hopefully they just go into it, and then we going to take it to
I'm
them.
excited to see Mani back out.
I was going to say, what about those guys who are getting rewarded?
Yeah.
The ones who've been brought on tour. I mean, when you look at that tour, it seems like everyone's going to have a go.
It's going to be fantastic. You know,
What are you looking forward to?
What Tony Brown's going to bring to Mani, because Mani has that incredible way of being elusive with the ball in hand, and also drawing defenders and opening up the space on the outside. And with Tony, that's what Tony is really good at as a fly-off. You know, he attacked the line. He was one of the first guys, him and Larkham, they would come straight to the line, and they weren't scared to take contact. But if you didn't tackle them, went for the gap, and they're gone. And if you did tackle them, they always had 2 or 3 guys around them that they'd pop the ball to. So they were the first attacking flyers, and I think he'll work really nicely with Mani. I'm excited to see.
Nah, it's going to be brilliant. Looking forward to this weekend as the Springboks take on Argentina, in Argentina. All the best to the Springboks. Big ups, and then the massive thing that is happening. We are turning things around back to the URC. It is starting soon. I mean, 3 finals, 3 South African finals have happened in the last 3 years. I mean, it has been good for us, Corné. I mean, you played in those days when you used to get onto the boat. I mean, it must have been tough for you and the boys. It must have been tough for you and the boys.
A 3 months tour.
Long tours.
I mean, what is so exciting for you when you look at this, at the URC, what it has brought in terms of as an entertainment, in terms of the game?
As far as we travelled, because travelling to Australia and New Zealand was, and my first Saturday, Wednesday, 4 games done and dusted, back in 2 weeks. Super 12. So you played on a Saturday and a Wednesday, 2 big games, you know. So it was brutal in the beginning. But I really feel that they're strengthening our rugby in a sense that when you play in so many different weather conditions and pitches, that you continuously need to improve yourself. And the guys will be playing in rain and snow, and they'll be back next week, the following week, back in Cape Town, 25 degrees of sunshine. That's what I love about it. The Stormers and the Bulls have done really well. I'd like to see the Sharks and the Lions step up a little bit more.
No, the Lions are coming up.
Last couple of seasons, they were the disappointment from the URC perspective because they do have the talent. It was quite interesting to see the Currie Cup, how they've performed, especially this weekend.
Well, we're going to get to that. That don't go to my finisher.
Sorry. The one thing I do hope is from a South African perspective, it is South African teams. When your team plays against another team, fine. But if they play against Scarlets or they play against Leinster or whoever, Boss Harrisons, please support your South African teams. Because it is South Africa against the rest. And you want to hopefully, like we've had, South African finals.
That we've been having. I mean, for you as an experience, I know we talk about the travel, and South Africans, we don't care. We just want to get out there and do it. What has been your take?
Do you actually fly economy class everywhere?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
Yeah.
You sound like so privileged now.
No. But if you take it, the guys are tall, right? You saying privilege. You flew business class. You flew business class to Super 14,
I
Super
don't
12.
do that now.
Yeah. Now we fly.
None of us, we're all in the back.
But explain, because people don't understand how hard it is.
I know the guys next week are training Tuesday morning, and then like France is not there, but imagine a guy like France or even Brocky and those guys, big guys, now have to sit in an economy seat for 12 hours.
Does Chippy book them double seats?
Chippy and Dobber sit business, and then the rest of us are at the back. I don't know how that works. But
You book the tickets, you book yourself a better seat.
Chippy always sorts himself out, Uncle Chippy. He says he's got the longest contract ever of any player.
You've seen them all
He's
come
seen
and
everyone.
go.
Oh, exactly. But no, I think that's turning around next season. Something with the shares in URC and all that. Then we'll be able to fly business, and I think that'll make a big difference. Playoff games for URC and Investec Champions Cup are always business, but the rest, it's tough. It's some guy we struggle, especially if it's a full flight. We can't do anything about it. We've got babies crying between you.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the people sitting next to them.
Big news that came out this week, the merger between the Premiership and a few Irish teams, in that way taking out the South African sides out of the URC. Your thoughts?
Is it confirmed?
No, I think
No, it was never confirmed.
URC denied
said
it.
that was denied because of all the good news. But if something like that, if there's smoke, boys.
The thing is, it doesn't make sense. We had a preseason camp and we had all our meetings, and the new Red Dinosaur owners came and expectations and what they'll bring and everything. And then our media guy chatted to us and showed us that the Stormers and then I think the Bulls second are the most watched teams live and on TV. Yeah. And the amount of viewers we bring in, so to
4 million.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So if they get rid of the South African teams, the URC, it sounds very arrogant, but the URC is not then what it is if without the South African teams. And it wouldn't be smart to get rid of us because I think we bring something different to this Northern
Hemisphere. New Zealand. They took us out of Super Rugby. It was and now they're regretting it.
What's your thoughts, Scala?
It's
not even, now it's a speculation because we know that it was put
It was discussed at least.
Yeah.
No, I think what would I do if I was the Premiership side? If I look at the English League, they've had some disruptions. They had teams that went bankrupt. They want to be part of the URC, I guess. And there is, if I look at it, I can't see how you want to get out of the URC of being Ireland. So I'm wondering if they're trying to get into that to have better competition. Because if you look at the competition itself, the URC has improved European rugby, it has improved our rugby. Corné said it earlier, it gives us multiple ways of playing, and I think it prepares us for test match rugby. Set phase orientated, they come here, they play a bit of our type of style. We throw it around with this kind of weather outside, so that helps them as well. The question is, what is the Premiership going to do? Because they are the one side that I feel is underperforming with the talent they've got. They don't have the exposure.
So everything is flipped back to the Premiership. So we shouldn't be worried at all. Everything is glorious in the full world champion status life that we're living at the moment. Best of luck for the URC when we see you after a good December.
What about the Currie Cup?
This is where we're getting to. It is the oldest Premiership league competition in the world. Said Donald Currie Cup. I mean, you've won it, you've tasted it. Just what does it mean to you, Corné?
I was actually one of the guys who said, if it's watered down as badly as it was at some point, don't call it the Currie Cup anymore. Chop it, call it something else, and then we'll remember the Currie Cup as it was. Yeah. Having watched the last two games,
semi-finals.
The two semi-finals, they were phenomenal. And it's the old rivals, which was fantastic. It was really great to watch.
The old cats fight.
There we go. As long as it keeps that status and the games are as tough as they are, and there's a couple of Springboks, it was lovely to see Trevor and Yokane come back. The Boks are carrying on and winning games. Well, where's Trevor? He's coming. Which is great. So there's just more talent coming through. But it was lovely to see. It was two great games. I watched the Bulls Sharks game and with a Bulls supporter. 3 chances to win it, right? And they didn't. And they played against 12 men at some point. It was ridiculous. So anyway, they chucked it properly. But kudos to the Sharks. They hung in there and they won it. And it's going to be a great final.
What is your take on that,
I'm abstaining from comment.
Are you abstaining from the commenting?
No, it is. I couldn't believe what's happening here. Like, take control, calm down, and it feels like the Bulls just got more erratic as it got on. And then I thought, okay, fine, they're going to take the 3 points. It is overtime, and then I thought, okay, things are going to calm down. The coach is going to have a chat. The senior group is going to have a chat, and then they're going to regroup. And
I thought they did. When they scored that try in extra time, I thought, there we go, that's it.
Stravina Jacobs, that was the slam dunk.
Who was amazing on the other side for the Sharks was Andre Esterhuizen. Yeah. He got
better and better. He was quiet in the beginning, but he got better and better.
Bit of game time does a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Also coming through.
You watching the Currie Cup, and what was your thoughts? Semi-finals, I mean...
It's attractive rugby to watch. Trevor's try was my highlight.
Yeah.
Of the weekend. And
what about Asenati Tlabaganya?
Yeah.
Speed wobble, everything.
Yeah. And a goose a little bit of a goose.
And what about Morne Brandon's try? The man bouncing off the ground.
But he's so explosive. I've known him since I've been 12. We've been throwing discus against each other. He's always beaten me because he's so explosive.
Yeah.
Didn't have a great.
That. He's got gas though.
But he looks strong.
He's flipping strong. He didn't
got gas.
I was so about my technique and the spin, and it looked great. His spin wasn't that great, but when he exploded, it went 60 meters. He was an absolute athlete. And then I think that translated into the try, doing a backflip almost. And but it's good to see the Currie Cup. And even Ellis Park, the shady part of Ellis Park was full. No one sat in the sun. But to see that, and in Durban as well, it's good to bring that pride and everything back to the Currie Cup.
Do you think, though, I mean, since 2015, the start of that Lions run when they went to 3 Super Rugby finals, do you think this could be that sort of catalyst to kicking on the Lions? I mean, now you can talk about they've got young stars. I mean, the Ruan Venter is a young Springbok, he's 22. Kuan Hall.
Comes from the same school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also boys.
Another, jeepers, you boys stop with the Pole boys here.
You guys got Cade, who's also now started playing after 2 ACLs. Was with us for a while.
Talented.
ACL, very talented.
Are you guys talking about Paul Boys here?
Oh, no, we're talking actually about Paul Roos. Well, Cade's new name is Fade Voliter, because I've never seen such a terrible haircut in my life.
Fade
Voliter.
That is...
guys like that who's been struggling and not getting a lot of game time now coming through and playing in a Currie Cup final, and that's what we want to see.
How important is that we get a massive crowd at Emirates Airline Park for the final coming up this weekend?
For the Currie Cup, it's very important. Yeah. And I'm sure that the locals will support.
What sort of brings the crowd out there? Because, I mean, we've seen a young teams playing in the first few rounds, and then there's been an influx of the big stars or the URC guys coming in. I mean, still talking to that pride?
Yeah, there's some serious talent there. Sanele Mahamba, when he comes on, he just causes chaos. I love him. So what a talented kid. So, yeah, it's going to be a great final. You've got to give them the heads up at home. I think it's going to be tough for the Sharks to go Blue Bulls away and
extra time.
yeah.
Extra time.
So what do you think, Schalk? Do you think the Bulls? Do you think the Sharks play their final?
Possibly, but they have more depth. They've got, for me, what is amazing about the Lions the whole season, they didn't veer off from their structure or the way they play. They play an exciting brand. It almost makes you think about the Free State back in the day. Like, they've got unknown names, but now becoming household names. And they play in a style that is, we're going to play the way we play. You can bring whatever you like and we will outplay you or outscore you. And so from that perspective, it's exciting seeing young guys. It's almost like when Bobes wore a Lions shirt back in the day. It's the guys just play
Run
rugby.
at all costs.
Yeah, that is
That's
literally...
all I could do. I couldn't kick this thing in my life.
Well, you were a flanker.
I'm a forward.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
So that is what I like about it. They just play rugby where other teams are more structured. The Springboks are very structured. They are, I guess, one of the least structured teams out there. They do have a good set piece. Very dangerous.
How important is that the Lions sort of played that type of style at altitude?
It's tough coming from here, and when they start running, and your defense is not on it.
Does it feel like you're breathing
Second
through a
half.
straw?
Yeah, and then like if I'm tired, I don't even want to look at my props. So if we go there, like our thing is to shut them down immediately, like not give them time and like space to be able to do the running and be awake for quick throw in. Slow it down, play on your terms, work the set piece.
The biggest problem is if they start running and there's a forced error, you pick up the ball and most things you want to run as well. It's counter-attack. And then you make a mistake and then they counter. You lose structure. You want to run as well.
How important to sort of like calm yourselves and actually, do you think the players will play finals rugby?
I think they should, because when you go to that level, when you play in any final, it's like a test match. You don't kick for the corner necessarily. You take your points, you build the innings, and you win it at the end. So, but I'm backing the Lions.
Okay, gents, let's make those calls. Prediction time. Make your calls. It's the Currie Cup Final 2024.
Lions by 5.
As an old line,
I'll say Lions by 7.
Lions by 7. I won't make a call back, but thank you so much. I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm just going to see and watch a game. I think I love both teams. I say best of luck to Cash van Rooyen, actually, because they'll be looking out to see if they can, for the first time since 2015, lift a cup in the Emirates Airline Park. So to you, Corné Krige, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Bobs. Thanks for having me.
Scala, we have to do it again. Best of luck, big man. Godspeed to you. And please stop doing this December thing. It's going to become a thing. People are going to start thinking.
It's been working for me, so don't change a winning recipe.
Oh, she's working on those guns now.
Yeah, December's around the corner.
Well, catch us on all your places and platforms where you catch your podcast. This is The Good, The Bad, and The Rugby South Africa. It's been a pleasure being with you.